Out with the cold and in with a new year. Spring is finally here, and we're back for another Travel Life to celebrate a fresh start of the year. So come along and join us as we taste, feel, and see everything this season has to offer in the beautiful springtime on the island of Hokkaido. We're back again, and just like the last few times, getting to Hokkaido was a walk in the park, but now even more so than before, because Hokkaido can now be accessed using the Shinkansen or the bullet train. Just opened last March 2016, travelers can now hop onto the Shinkansen and get to Hokkaido by way of Hakodate. By car, it'd take the whole day to travel to Hokkaido, but on the bullet train, it would only take a little less than 6 hours.
First time on a bullet train, and so far it's been a good ride. Very comfortable, very spacious, and what's nice is, even though the bullet train is known to go really fast, you don't notice the speed.
Hakodate is the southernmost part of Hokkaido and is Hokkaido's third largest city. One of the earliest areas in Japan to open its ports to Western traders, Hakodate's charm can be seen through the mixture of old Japanese culture with Western influences. The variety in its surroundings, through its nature, architecture, and culture, make for a good start in enjoying spring in Hokkaido. Coming into Hokkaido in the spring, we were immediately in search for sakura in bloom. Otherwise known as cherry blossoms, its flowers only bloom in spring and only last for 1 week. Popular attraction, just a few kilometers away from Hakodate, is the Matsumae Castle. Behind me is the Matsumae Castle, the northernmost castle of Japan, and the last ever castle that was built in the country. Before, it was used as a watchtower, but now it's been converted into a museum. So people come over to appreciate the history that it presented, but more importantly, people come here during spring to catch the sakura or the cherry blossoms. Not only was the castle a sight to see, but we were fortunately greeted by an abundance of cherry blossoms all throughout the place. Back in the city, we visit one of the more popular sites of Hakodate, the Old Public Hall.
Hakodate is a beautiful city in the southernmost part of Hokkaido, and for me, this area where we are in right now is just about the most picturesque part. And this building behind me is called the Old Public Hall, and it's for me the most beautiful building in this whole city. It was built in 1910 after the Great Fire of 1907. It was built in the American colonial style. Many famous people have stayed here, dignitaries. Almost anyone who's visited Hakodate as an official guest of the government has come to see this building. And in fact, the Taisho Emperor stayed here when he visited Hakodate. So this is really nice. Yeah.
More examples of the mix between Japanese and Western influences are evidently seen along the main streets of the old public hall. These houses vary from residentials to restaurants, as well as pubs and convenience stores.
This street is one of the most unique and quaint streets in the city, so the city of Hakodate decided to make this an area of historical significance. Let's go and see it. This house behind me is very typical of the kind of wooden structures that existed on this street, Motemachi, in the 19th century. The surprising thing is, people still live in them. This is one of the most iconic buildings in the entire Hakodate. It used to be the British consulate in the 19th century, but now it's a popular tea house and souvenir shop selling what else but English traditional goods.
There is a lot to see in Hakodate, and the Bay Area is one of them. With a very rich history, being one of the first ports in Japan to open, the bay is definitely worth checking out.
We're here at the Kanamori red brick warehouses. This used to be owned by one man who used this as his storage places. And nowadays, it's the trendiest place in Hakodate for shopping, for food, for drinking, and just about anything. Let's go and explore it.
Along the port are the Kanamori red brick warehouses. These have become an iconic image along the bay and used to house goods for import and export, but have now been converted to stores, restaurants, and other commercial outlets.
They sell the cutest things. I love travel life.
Being a coastal area, it should come as no surprise that Hakodate is also well known for its fresh seafood. And where else can you get fresher seafood than by the port? This is precisely why we made it a point to get up early and visit the Hakodate market to check out if we can try out the day's fresh catches.
Now in this market, you can do everything. You can shop for food, you can eat sushi, you can eat things like tempura, you can choose your own seafood and then just have a restaurant cook it nearby. In this Hakodate seafood market, this dried scallop is very popular as a souvenir. A kilo of this is about 20,000 yen, which is roughly $200. Yep, $200 for this bag of dried scallops. It's very good in the morning with your boiled rice. You gotta try it sometime. This is another local delicacy that I really love. It's called ikameshi. It's a very big squid and inside it is rice, a little bit of dried scallops, and some spices and seafood. It's really good and all you have to do is put it in the microwave, heat it up, and then eat it. And oh my goodness, have you ever seen a very big dried squid? I've never seen one before. And amazingly, it's about $10. $10 for this whole squid, that's probably gonna last you a year. I'm about to do some squid fishing and hopefully I'll have some great squid for lunch. Now the trick to doing this apparently is to catch the squid at the tail. This is the head of the squid and this is the tail and you're supposed to try and catch the tail. If you can do that, you have your squid. Here goes nothing. Good to catch you. Uh-oh, I got the head.
No, okay.
Oh! Looks like I've got lunch.
If you didn't catch it the first time, the trick here is pretty simple. You just dip the rod and the line, and then you try your best to hook the fin of the squid, and then you pull up as fast as you can, like so. See that?
So now that we've gotten our squid, he's actually gonna cut it up and make it into sashimi for me. Freshly caught sashimi. Oh my goodness, that's the head. It's moving. So we've got our squid and we're ready for the pre-lunch appetizer, right?
I'm more than ready to do it.
And apparently, the squid moves when you put some soy sauce on it. So shall we do it together?
Let's... Oh wow!
It's moving. It's moving. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This is really good.
It's good?
This is really good.
Sorry to have killed you.
And I think it tastes much better also because we caught it ourselves.
Yes.
We worked hard for the food on our plate this afternoon.
You sound like a true fisherman.
Moving from sea to summit, we now head to higher ground to check out Mount Hakodate. Standing 334 meters high, its view of the city has been recognized to be among the top 3 best views in Japan. Visitors can get to the top by taking a 5-minute cable car ride, or by car, which takes around 30 minutes for those that want to take a more scenic route.
We are at the very top of Mount Hakodate to be able to get a better view of the city below us.
It's been a long day out, and we've already worked up quite the appetite. Perfect for dinner, because we get to try Kirari's Hokkaido Shabu Shabu. Hokkaido is also known for its beef, so we're really making sure we leave no stones left unturned when it comes to food. The night isn't over yet, because after dark, the city is still teeming with life. We check out Hakodate's nightlife, and hopefully as we go around, we get to make new friends as well.
Tonight I thought we'd visit the Diamond Yokocho, which is just about the liveliest place to be in Hakodate. It's full of people in bars and little restaurants in about 3 or 4 streets. You can go to each and every restaurant and pick something to eat. Ramen, yakitori, sushi, all kinds of food are here. Let's go and see some of the restaurants.
美味しい美味しい超美味しい
どこの国もやっぱ美味しい最高最高ビュービュービュービュービュービューグーグー
This one is squid.
Butter.
Okay. So you put the butter here and then you mix the squid. This is really good. And really hot also. Kampai.
Beer is also popular in Hakodate, as they brew their own original batches of beer. We head over to the Hakodate Beer Hall for a midnight snack and a cap-off over their beer. We go back on the road to head out of Hakodate and onto Noboribetsu. But first, just a quick stop by the Onuma Quasi-National Park, which is approximately 2 hours away from Hakodate. Onuma Park is a beautiful patch of land known for its scenic views, boat rides, and trekking tours. The park is also popularly known for having its 2 lakes, Onuma, the large lake, and Kunuma, the little lake, and its views of a dormant volcano, Mount Komagatake. One of the more popular items in Hokkaido is their dairy, and in particular their ice cream. So every time that I step foot in Hokkaido, I really make it a point to have one of their soft served ice creams.
Best ice cream in the world.
Really good. Now in Noboribetsu, our first stop is at the Jigokudani, or the Noboribetsu Hell Valley. Called as such because of the steam spewing out from the rocks of the valley, as well as the strong smell of sulfur in the area. This is a very beautiful place, and I personally enjoy it because of the view. And if you can see behind me, you can see there are a lot of steam coming out and smoke. This is because we are actually within what used to be an active volcano, so that could be the reason behind all of the heat emanating from the bottom of the earth. The abundance of minerals and natural heat, along with the hot springs that flow through its valley, make this a very popular hot springs location for visitors and tourists to go to. So much so that Noboribetsu has been considered as Hokkaido's hot spring capital. Now on to a more entertaining side of Noboribetsu. We head over to the Date Jidaimura, a theme park patterned to Japan's Edo period. Everything from the buildings to the people, as well as the entertainment, are accurately fashioned to the likeness of how it was in 18th to 19th century Japan.
Konnichiwa. Here we are at the Date Jidai village, which is a wonderful recreation of an old town somewhere in the mainland of Japan. It was started by the Date family who came from Sendai, which is in the mainland of Japan, and they transferred here to Hokkaido to sort of start a new life. And to remember how things were in the mainland of Japan, they created this wonderful village of storehouses, shop houses, old samurai houses, and it's really authentic looking. And you can even dress up in one of these kimonos. Kevin looks like a soba maker, but a very
Samurai, to be precise.
And this lady in a beautiful kimono is going to guide us around the Date Jidai village. Not only is this place educational, but it also provides light and fun entertainment for the family.
One of the attractions here at the Jidaimura is the ninja maze. Now, aside from being concealed and really quick, ninjas are also known for their being clever and their uses of acts of deceit. So now this house looks to be really interesting, so join us as we go through the ninja maze. I'm not exaggerating when I'm being dragged to the wall. So if you're wondering why I'm being put towards the wall, it's because it's sort of in the ground is diagonal in shape, and it's used to mess with you in your orientation. So I'll show you. I think we should move on. Are you okay there? I don't know if the ninjas did it back in the day, but it's a very effective way to disorient your whoever intrudes your house. And it says here that you should put your hand into the dragon's mouth. So there are 3 dragons here. So I guess this is sort of like a dramatized way of opening the door. Oh, there you go. See now the trap door opens. There are no arrows pointing you to where to go. So it's like a build your own story kind of thing, because you just follow wherever the path leads you. Such as this, there are a couple of open doors. There's one marked with a question mark. Oh my god! So now this part, I suppose, is to confuse you. Maybe here. There. Found our way back.
Wow!
I suppose the technique is to just look at the floor so you don't get disoriented. But what's the fun if you don't let yourself fall?
The season of spring is synonymous with life. And where else in Hokkaido can you experience an atmosphere as lively as Sapporo? Aside from the city's activities, Sapporo's nearby neighbors also offer a very pleasant look into experiencing nature and celebrating the season's festivities. With the arrival of spring comes a season of new crops. As Hokkaido is known for its fresh and healthy produce, we head over to a nearby town not too far away from the city to harvest asparagus at the Yoshida farm.
Yoshida Farms, which is about a 30-minute drive from Sapporo City, is actually the only farm in Sapporo that is authorized to plant asparagus for harvesting. And not only that, because apparently you can only harvest asparagus for a very short period of time each year, from the 10th of May to the 20th of July.
There's a good one here. The basis is, if it goes over here, then it's good to harvest. This one is really healthy. Perfect. Immediately after you cut the thing, juice comes out of the base, so you can, as per the farmer, you can taste the juice that comes out. Very good. Very, very good. And you can eat it right away after harvesting. Very clean and very fresh. Good stuff.
This is a really hard day's work, by the way, but I hope it will be worth it. This gentleman next to me, who is the asparagus expert, he says this is even better than the boiled asparagus. So I just can't wait to get some. Here we go. Wow. This is the real thing.
There's a different taste to it when it's grilled as opposed to it being boiled. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good?
Good.
As if being met with a bountiful bloom of sakura at the Matsume wasn't enough, we get another beautiful display of spring as we go around the beautiful Hiraoka Park. Just a few kilometers away from the city of Sapporo, similar to the cherry blossoms, the plum tree's blooms closely resemble the color of sakura, making this park a very popular attraction for both locals and tourists to visit. Many people come over to have picnics or just have a stroll through the park. But a bonus for visitors is also to have a chance at trying out plum ice cream. An interesting twist to our go-around was a side trip to Hokkaido's historical village, or the Kaitaku no Mura. This is an open-air museum, which is a big-scale simulation of how Hokkaido once looked.
here I am in the historical village of Hokkaido, a big theme park, open air, with villages of fishermen, farmers, craftsmen, so you can walk around and just see all these old houses. Most of them have been transported from some other place to this beautiful park full of nature, about 15 kilometers away from Sapporo. And here, they've just been reconstructed again. So it's really like walking back in time. Now behind me is the old railway station of Sapporo. And they transported it from the city of Sapporo to this place and made it just like new.
Actual 20th century houses, buildings, and structures were used in this village. The town is peaceful and beautiful, and you can even go around by a horse carriage.
This beautiful wooden structure behind me is a traditional Japanese inn from the city of Asahikawa. And you can still go inside. They sell beer, which you can only find in Hokkaido. Let's go and see. Behind me is the Yamamoto barber shop from the 1920s. You'll see how everything is still exactly as it was almost 100 years ago. I'm in front of the entrance to the Kawamoto Soba Shop, which is a very, very famous soba shop from the city of Otaru, which is in the seaside part of Hokkaido. Inside the Kawamoto Soba Shop, you can feel history. And here is the soba kitchen. You can see everything they used to use, including the bowls, the soba sauce containers, the oven where they used to heat the water up. Everything is here, just as Mrs. Kawamoto left it. These wonderful and beautifully preserved buildings behind me actually formed part of the town of Kumaishi in Hokkaido. They were brought here and preserved, and now you can just walk through the town and feel as if you were in a fishing village. There are storehouses, living areas, offices of the industry associations, and it's just like being back in that fishing village again.
On our way back to the city, we pay a visit to one of the more festive places in Sapporo, the Shiroi Koibito Park. A theme park built around the factory of the famous Shiroi Koibito chocolate brand. The park is fashioned to resemble European structures, making its visitors feel that they are in a completely different place. Aside from getting a first-hand look at how the products are made, visitors can also try making their own batch of cookies. But for us, just feeling the energy of the crowd and admiring the colorful flowers were enough. In Sapporo, food is an absolute must to indulge in, but Molière is a highlight already in itself. Molière is a small French restaurant in the city and has been recognized with a 3-star rating by the Michelin Guide last 2012.
This is the famous salad of Molière, which was inspired by the salad called Gargouilles of Michel Bras, a French Michelin 3-star chef. Now, you have to eat it in a very interesting way. First, you've got to mix everything up. And the way you mix it determines how it tastes. So, it's different for every person. And then, after mixing it once, you have to mix it again. And only after mixing it again do you actually eat it. Not with a knife and a fork. You eat it with a fork and a spoon.
Food is excellent here, and it just made our trip a little more worth our while.
Wow, this is something else. This is really good.
Is it?
This is really good.
So the main course is minced duck that looks like a hamburger, and it's served with poached egg, a lot of greens, and a wonderful looking risotto and mustard. Now the trick here apparently is to mix everything up, just like the Korean bibimbap. Wow, for me that sounds like Philippine fried rice, but perhaps the Michelin 3-star style Philippine fried rice. Cheers!
Cheers.
Now that we're back in the city, we decide to go around again because the last time we were here, everything was covered in ice and snow.
This is the Akarenga, which is the red brick building of Hokkaido behind me. It's one of the most famous icons here in the city of Sapporo. And the last time I was here, it was for the snow festival. It was freezing and everywhere was covered with white. Today, it's another beautiful scenery of wonderful plum blossoms everywhere. Springtime really in Sapporo is wonderful.
Odori Park was just a stone's throw away from where we stayed, and it looks completely different with all this color.
If you catch yourself in Sapporo, a place that you must pay a visit to should be Odori Park. This is a very interesting place because it divides the northern and southern regions of Sapporo. And all through the different festivals that they have, they use Odori Park as a venue for all types of entertainment, parties, and different festivities.
As the Japanese would put it, spring is a new year, a fresh start, and a celebration of life. The beauty and color that come out of the cold of winter signify a beautiful beginning of joy and hope for a fruitful year to come. If Hokkaido spring is a sign of things to come, then we truly cannot wait for summer as we continue to live a never-ending travel life.